Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Lotus Life podcast. My name is Kim Fisher. I'm so excited you are here. Today's episode is all about the upcoming release and invitation into the Inner Circle, which is my new membership and wellness yoga and wellness platform for you to join. It's replacing the current membership, which is called the virtual yoga studio. So this is a brand new wellness and yoga platform. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the why behind it. Some of you have already saw the Instagram and YouTube videos about this, so I'm not going to go into too much more detail because if you want that content, if you want to know more about it, it's out there. But I want to touch on the why, what inspired this community, and the difference from what it is now to where it is, where it's going, and also what to expect inside each month, because that's really important to me that you understand the relationship that we're going to be entering in with me, but also with other individuals that are going to be joining the inner circle. And I just got super distracted because I do believe a hummingbird just came up and pecked at the window. Okay, so just gonna flow with that. Totally, nature coming and knocking on my window is never a bad thing. The other thing I want to talk about with you is why a membership community is so stinking important. And I'm just going to put it out here right now and set the tone for all of this. Your family and even your friends are not always going to get your choices in life. Your significant other is not always going to get your spiritual mindset. When you come home from a yoga class, when you come home from a yoga retreat, when you do your own practice, the people that we love most are not obligated to have allegiance to your spiritual path. And I know that's a really hard pill to swallow because they love you, they know you. Why shouldn't they just get it? Or why shouldn't we ask, why shouldn't they get it and want it at the volume and the level that we want it? But that's your path, it's not theirs. And this is why resentment builds up in relationships where one person is doing yoga and the other person is not. One person is transforming and thinks that they get all the answers and the other person does not in the relationship. And there's this rift. And it's usually caused by the person doing yoga who suddenly is not accepting of other people who don't do yoga. That's a huge problem. I can't tell you how many times I led yoga teacher trainings in the past, and someone always tells me they're getting a divorce. Someone always tells me during the training they're leaving their partner. Someone always tells me during the training they're ending their job. Now, maybe they were really toxic jobs and were really toxic relationships, to which case, good. The yoga gave you power and inspiration to trust yourself and move forward and to break bonds that were not healthy. And that's amazing. But on the other hand, we have to know the difference between getting out of something that is toxic versus holding space for what we do not think is possible any longer. Holding space for others who are not on the path with us means that we are doing yoga. Yoga is about being uncomfortable. Yoga is about pain and integrating it. Yoga is about being with the dirty, icky, nasty, difficult moments in our life and not running from it and not going straight in a very unresponsible rate, but being with it. Just letting it chill for a second. Let it be there. Give it some space. That's yoga. That's yoga without spiritual bypassing, by the way. And trusting that the wound that's there, the uncomfortableness that's there, the pressure is actually there for a reason. I mean, even if you don't believe that, you're treating it like the guru. You're treating it as if The teacher has awakened you in that moment and you realize that there's some work to do. Okay, so what does this have to do with inner circle? What does this have to do with membership? Well, guess what? If you want to avoid feeling like you're beating yoga and spirituality into your significant other's mind or into your parents' head or into your sister or brother's head, if you're just like walking around trying to change everyone around you because you found this new shiny toy called yoga and it's incredible and it's changing my life and don't you want to feel better? I know how, all of these things. Or let's say you're not doing that, but you're deep into your practice, you're deep into your experience, and you just want to integrate it. You just want to talk about it. And of course, it's natural to go to the people that we love and who love us. But if they're not on the path with you, they're just not going to get it. And that's okay. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they don't get it. Just like if I don't know, what do I know nothing about? Absolutely nothing about. Uh, okay, this just came to mind really random, but like welding underwater. I know a little bit about scuba diving because I used to do it, but I don't know anything about welding. Like, and how do they even keep that fire? How is that spark a spark underwater? Because that's just blowing my mind is thinking about that right now. So if someone were to come up to me with all the passion in the world and all the knowledge and talk about welding underwater, I'd be like, interesting. But I wouldn't be like, oh, I know. Yes, I've been there. Oh my God, I get it. And I wouldn't be able to help them integrate. And I wouldn't be able to reflect back their experiences. They would understand that I'm an outsider. They would feel it right away. And so we can only go so deep in those experiences, and that's fine. This is why it's really important that you have a spiritual community or sangha. Sangha is one of the yogic words for spiritual community, a place where brothers and sisters just like you gather in a space of commonality, respect, love, and a shared desire to go deeper into learning about themselves and learning about and growing, stepping into their highest yes. If you have a spiritual community, you satisfy the desire to integrate because it's so real. You cannot do the path alone. You do the work alone, but you walk the path with other people. You do the work, the state and the process works on you solo, and you do it solo, but you need the community to help you integrate and ground and make sense of what comes up sometimes on the map. Now, this relationship of having someone help you ground it might be your teacher. You're a student, you might go to your teacher, explain what's happening on the mat, explain what's happening off the mat, lean into them, and they lean into you. And you open up a book together. We talk about some scriptures. We talk about the ancient teachings. We talk about what your practice is like. Like maybe, maybe the advice isn't necessarily go deeper. Maybe it's pull back. Sometimes people go so deep and so fast and chalana, they churn so hard in yoga that their entire reality gets fragmented. And so there actually is an appropriate rate at which you should move in your yoga practice. You can burn yourself out. You can actually become very weird and bizarre. You probably know someone like that, where you become like disassociated from reality because your prana is so high, and we haven't done a really good job at grounding it and digesting it in the body. And so what happens is that we live in the mind. The energy is kind of riding too high and we're very conceptual. And what it means to digest is that we stop thinking about our yoga and we start being our yoga. And that means living it from the body itself, yielding to the body. Not to make that switch from conceptualizing into the body, it's helpful to have a group of people who can ask you questions, who will listen without the desire to respond. It's helpful to have a group of people who have been there. When you say, man, I saw some colors the other day in Shavasana, they're like, oh yeah, I did too. What colors did you see? Or if you're like, sometimes I'm really afraid of the anger that comes up when I hold camel pose. Someone else who doesn't know yoga is gonna be like, what the hell's camel pose? What, you're riding a camel and you feel angry, right? Or they're gonna be like, whoa, like I thought yoga was supposed to bring you happiness. Like maybe you're not doing it right. But if you talk to someone who does yoga, they're gonna be like, I get it. Tell me. Let's integrate it. Okay, you get it? Yeah, I know you get it. That's the whole point. That's one of the main reasons that I started the inner circle. It came to me as an idea, but I didn't really have the full concepts and the structure. But I knew I wanted to create a space where anyone could show up at any point on the path and get what they need to feel integrated and to feel whole, to feel like, yeah, the world can be really fucking tough sometimes and beat the hell out of me, but I always have a place where I can go and I'm accepted. I have a place where I can go and I know I'm not being judged. I have a place where I can go where people actually want to hear what I have to say. And there's nothing too wacky coming out of my mouth. I am actually being healed by my sharing. When others hold the space for me to share, I heal. Could you imagine saying those words and having that in your corner every single month, every single year going forward? Because you guys, I don't see the inner circle as just something that's going to boop, come up and boop, go away. The inner circle for me is the legacy I'm starting to create. And I'm inviting you in now while it's fresh and while it's young. Help me forge it. Help me build it. Help me see it. See this vision with me and move together. Like imagine when I cover the topics, like go online right now too. And obviously like head to my website, kimfisheryoga.com. Also, if you're on Instagram, the link is in my bio, and that's going to bring you to the My Kajabi site. But you can access the inner circle from either websites I just mentioned, from either way. But when you go there and you read about what you're going to get in the membership and what we cover, you'll see that this is not just a way to get in shape, and it's not just a way to feel peaceful. It is a way, a new way and a new formula, a new blueprint for you to arrive and show up for yourself and your life wholly and completely, with answers and with questions, as you are completely. So personal story, just the tip of the iceberg, because again, my story of why is on Instagram and on YouTube right now. I was kicked out of my home yoga studio because when I came back from my yoga teacher training back in 2007, I kept wanting to teach and I was told no. I never knew why, by the way, never was told why. But all around me, other teachers were being hired. Now, I was going to my teacher at my studio that I practiced with for 7 years. I mean, with my eyes closed, I could teach like her. I could speak like her if I wanted to. I could teach an exact blueprint because I loved her so much, right? I wanted to imitate her because I absolutely loved her. She oozed through my body. And my devotion to her was so real. So you can imagine my crisis and my heartbreak when I came back a month later after having received my 200-hour training and being told no. I later learned that that was the best thing for me because I didn't fit in, because I chose to teach my own style, because I chose to be me. I was not invited in. I was too different, too unique, too strong. But I went on anyway. I taught at other places and eventually ended up renting out space, then managed a fitness and yoga center, and then eventually opened up my own studio back in 2011, which, by the way, that studio is reopening. That's right. You heard it here. I'm reopening that studio. Another podcast, another time next week. We'll talk all about how I manifested my studio for the second time. So that's coming. But what I'm saying to you is that Lotus Life Yoga Center never would have happened had I not been kicked out of my studio, my home studio at the time. But I carried with me this stigma, this residue of like, oh my God, am I not good enough? Am I not good enough? My yoga mother doesn't even want me. I'm abandoned right now. So I must not be good enough. And I carried that with me until I finally found a teacher, Doug Swenson, I just want to call him out right now, who was able to heal me by giving me space to be myself. And everyone that was drawn to that community was also, in some ways, a misfit. We were misfits. We didn't really fit in anywhere else. And we've been kicked out of homes. And we found a community. We found a community within each other because we knew what it was like to be abandoned. We knew what that pain was like, to carry that hurt. I am flooding with emotion right now because it's so difficult to have so much love for someone and to not be reciprocated back in any form, in any form. Ultimately, that pain becomes the blessing. That pain becomes the elixir that heals you, that moves mountains for you, that sets you straight on your dharma, on your path. But at the time, it's hell, right? It's the most painful thing. What I want to give you with the inner circle is what I didn't have then, which is a place to transform, to come and go as you please, and know that whenever you show up, you are welcome in whatever shape you're in, with whatever ideas you have, in whatever abilities you have, whatever desires you have is welcomed. It will be welcomed. This is a space that is not afraid of your transformation. It is not afraid of you being different than the others in the group. In fact, it celebrates it. I want you to be different. I want you to show up with different ideas and beliefs. I want you to be a catalyst for really radical discussions inside of the group so that we can grow and we can learn and we can see that we can hold space for what we don't quite understand. And holding the space is the yoga. Eventually we digest, and sometimes we do eventually end up understanding, and sometimes we just don't. And that's also okay. It's through love that we radically can accept others. It's through love that we don't feel the need to change other beings, that we can be with without the desire to fix. I thought I needed to fix myself for many years after being kicked out of the yoga nest. But I now realize that what I needed instead was to find me and to find other people who would reflect back to me that how I am is perfect. That's what the inner circle is going to do for you. And we're going to do it through several different modalities. Okay. So the inner circle is offering you a place where we could gather for live classes. Okay, so here's how we're going to create this safe context and how we're going to dive into the different facets of your life that are so critically important. Okay, we're going to do it through 90-minute live classes with me every single month. I call these the temple parties because it really is that. It's a freaking party. I don't want to just do hatha yoga with you. I want to celebrate with you. So for 90 minutes, you got me live on a Zoom call. We're going to be dancing. We're going to be doing Tantra yoga, Hatha yoga, Vinyasa yoga, Kundalini yoga. We're going to be doing pranayama, meditation. We're going to be doing visualization techniques and journaling. We're also going to have time to talk to each other. And it's going to be a blend of that. And it's going to ebb and flow. You're never quite going to know what blend of that you're going to get during the temple parties, but it's going to be some awesome blend of celebration. Music's going to be kick-ass. It's going to be loud. I'm going to be loud. We're going to be making noises. We're going to be hooting and hollering. It's going to be literally a party. That comes to you first ever temple party this Saturday, September 4th, this Saturday. So don't miss it. Sign up, get ready, because tomorrow, Thursday, is the day that you can actually sign up for the inner circle and buy your seat, buy your membership. All the details about pricing, monthly and annual, are on the website right now, okay? But okay, if you're like, oh my God, I'm definitely in, no worries, you don't have to say anything. I'm signing up as soon as I can, but I can't make a Saturday. Everything, don't worry, everything I do that I teach is going to be recorded and dropped into the member portal. So you will have access to everything. And it's also okay, you guys, if you can't sign up right now and you want to sign up next month, as soon as you sign up, you'll get access to everything. Okay? And as long as you're a member, you'll have access to everything. As soon as you stop being a member, you no longer have access to everything. That's just how it works, okay? So let me just dip your toe and my toe into the pond of knowledge here about what we're actually going to be talking about, okay? So the inner circle lasts a whole year, okay? A whole year. And it's broken down into two chunks, the first 6 months and the second 6 months. So the first 6 months I have listed out here on the website for you in the Q&A section. I'm going to break it down for you. The first 6 months looks like this. Every single month has its own module, which are the most important aspects of your life. We're hitting them all. Nothing is out. And now every 6 months, it's going to be a different topic. So you can stay on all year and just grow, expand. You just keep taking up more space, keep growing and stepping into that highest yes, or just come for a month, get what you need, and peace out. Drop back in, come and go as you want. It does not matter to me, okay? I want you to be here in the inner circle because you feel called. And if you're like, I'm done, I got what I needed, this was amazing, I'm gonna go out and change the world, then leave, go, do your action, right? Like take action in the world and come back in a couple months and tell us what's up. Tell us how you freaking rule the world now, okay? Like that's the kind of energy I want. I want you to get what you want, get what you need. Some of us are gonna stay the whole year because we like dipping our toes into continuous knowledge. And that's my jam. I know, like I'll take what I need, absorb, and then go do the thing. And I like coming back in and like just recycling and refilling my cup, okay? But you have the option. You get monthly or annual. Okay, so you with me? Here we go. September, starting off this month, we begin with embodiment. Embodiment is the seed to everything we're going to be exploring throughout the 6 months. It's the base of the upside down cone. Well, not an upside down cone, an actual cone. So picture a cone. This is the base. This is the tip of the cone. We need to learn that it is not good enough to just think about the concepts of yoga and spirituality and your highest self. It's not good enough to just think about it. We must feel about it. We must make it matter. Put the thoughts into the skin, into the muscles, into the bones, into the cells of the body in order to align completely with consciousness and body. And that is an individual who's unfuckable. You cannot move a person from their highest yes when they are aligned body and mind together. Okay, so we have to start there. And then everything else builds from there. Next module in October is radical self-love. Once you start to embody, you are going to start to feel your wounds. I don't want you to hate yourself and feel shame because you start to feel your icky stuff. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to put into place practices through mantra, pranayama, and asana, dance, journaling, and even more pranayama, radical rituals. Every single month are going to be in your inbox, but also in your portal to help support you in radical self-love so that we do not add to the drama and pain that's already existing inside of our bodies. And by the way, if you want to love everyone else in your life, you got to start with you first. Okay, then November brings us into module 3, which is one of my favorites, creating and holding space. This is where you learn to energetically create space inside of yourself and then hold it. What does it mean to hold the walls, hold the containers, and maybe even go a little bit bigger? And then knowing how to flex that, how to modulate that so that you actually are moving and integrating with your life in a very safe way, in a way that feels purposeful and aligned. Again, sometimes we churn too quickly, we expand too rapidly, freak out, and then shrink back down because it was too much to handle. I want you to expand and stay there. I want you to expand and hold that line, expand and take up space, and then go, okay, what's next? So how do we plan for all this success? How do we plan for expansion so it doesn't freak us the fuck out, and we don't become that weirdo, and we don't start to hate ourselves and start to play small again? So that's what the third module is about. Cool, right? I know, you're loving this. I know. This is such good shit. So module 4 is Expansive AF. If you don't know what that stands for, expansive as fuck. Yes, Expansive AF is you realizing how amazing you are. This is important, and that might feel like ego, but it's not. In fact, if you don't step into your expansive self, you are doing the world a disservice. You're actually more egotistical by saying, I'll just play small, because you're not serving anyone that way. I need you to rise up. I need you to step up. The world needs you right now to step up and realize and hold your expansive self. And it's not going to be a problem because you just did module 3, which was creating a holding space. And that's not going to be a problem because you just did radical self-love, and you love yourself, and you're gentle with yourself, and you understand your purpose. And that's not going to be a problem because you started with embodiment. Do you see? Do you see how we're working our way up that cone? So not only are we going straight up, but we're going out in all directions, a cone. Okay, then we move into January, which is all about manifesting. Manifesting, think about New Year's resolutions, think about sankalpas, think about intention. This is where we start to learn my secret recipe and talk to other people. I'll probably bring in a special guest about what it takes to actually manifest and what tools you have to actually do the manifesting. What matters, you need to make it matter. If it matters to you, this is what I say all the time now, if it matters to you, you need to bring it into matter form, material form. Right now I'm touching my skin and touching my hair. This is matter. So I'm going to bring you into my special rituals. We're really going to dive into radical rituals in January. They're sprinkled in every module, by the way, but January is all about the rituals. We hit it hard. And I'm also going to show you how to vision board using digital vision boards, but also physical vision boards. We're going to talk about mantra. We're going to talk about practicing visualizations and the law of action. And I'm going to give you inside scoops into how I manifested my yoga studio, not once, but twice, as well as other things like my amazing partner, Brandon. I literally wrote down qualities of a partner I wanted, and he fits every single one of them, right down to the most important one on my list. I'm not bullshitting you when I say this. The most important thing on my list of a lover was that he must not only dance well, but he must like dancing and be able to dance spontaneously. I refuse to date anyone who cannot dance. And not even like I mean like love dancing, right? Because if you love dancing, you can find a beat, you can find your rhythm. And Brandon does that with me all the time. Okay, so we're going to learn how to manifest in January, and then that brings us into February, which is the end of the first chunk, the end of the first 6 months in the entire inner circle. We talk about sacred relationships. So this is friendships, this is coworkers, and this is your intimate stuff. We're going to talk about relationships on all levels. And for the first time ever, I'm going to introduce my concept that I've had for probably a couple years now. I just never had the moment to bring it in. I'm going to bring it in with you. We're going to try it out together. This concept is called the 3 fires, and how we can build our own energy and help sustain a togetherness fire, our shared fire, through taking care of and tending to our own fire, our own spirit. So the concept of the 3 fires will be woven into the sacred relationships, okay? But remember, the number 1 relationship you need to have is with yourself. That friendship, that intimacy, that partnership needs to be very strong in order for any relationship to be there. But that's not going to be a problem because you did the module before, which is manifesting. You did the module before that, expansive as fuck. You did the module before that, creating and holding space. You did the module before that, radical self-love. You did the module before that, embodiment. Do you see how every single module levels you up in incredible ways? And that's just the first 6 months. Then we're going to have the second half of the year. Oh my God, where are we going to take it from there? I mean, I got an idea. I know exactly where we're going, but I want to give you 6 months at a time. Okay. All right. So that's what we're doing. That's the why. You now just got an inside look at and listening to what's actually going to be taught in the 6 months. And again, I want to hit this one more time for you that if you are looking for a group of people to help you move forward through, around, above, dismantle, implode your hurdles in your mind. If you're looking for a group of people that's going to help reflect back to you when you are being scared shitless, or being called out when you've got your BS stories again, or lovingly just hold the space for what you feel like is weird and kind of esoteric and maybe out there, and not feel judged, this is a space for you. If you want to go deeper into your yoga, if you want to go deeper into meditation, you want to go deeper into philosophy, I got you. This is really me just like slicing my heart out and putting it on the digital table for you. And we're going to look at it. We're going to examine my heart. And I bet you we're all going to have the same heart. That's what I see. I see like-minded beings, like-minded hearts coming together, beating as one, quite simply. Okay, so important dates, you guys, important dates. First of all, make sure you are on my wait list. If you're not, I don't have your email, you're not going to know shit about what's going on. And that's the first thing, right? Is awareness of what's going on and communication. So you can get on my wait list. You can give me your email by going to kimfisheryoga.com. The very first thing at the top of the page, you're going to see a big ass banner for the inner circle. Click the button that says, yes, I'm in, or whatever the fancy wording is. And that's going to bring you to my Kajabi site. Kajabi is a different platform. And there you can sign up. Okay? Or skip that and go right to my Instagram page. And on my bio, there's a link. Hit that link and you'll go to the Kajabi page that explains the inner circle, shows you the pricing, and talks some more about, oh my God, I didn't even mention too. Guess what? You know how you're listening to this podcast right now? This is going to continue, but the inner circle members get their own private podcast. The podcast episodes will be dropped into the membership portal. So it will support the growth and the topic of that month, but it's also going to be just extra spicy and fiery because I'm not going to hold back because I know what you guys want to talk about. And that's my cat bringing a toy into the room. Yep. Good girl, Frankie. Thank you, baby kitty. Oh, good girl. Okay, there we go. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for dealing with that. So yes, so special podcast just for you, exclusively just for Inner Circle members. Again, your ears only. What happens in the Inner Circle stays in the Inner Circle. So I want to solidify that trust even more by having your ears attuned to the wisdom of the Inner Circle. All right. Yes. Is that exciting or what? I'm so pumped, you guys. This is going to be unbelievable. So make sure you're on the wait list. Then tomorrow, actually, which is Thursday, the ability to sign up and buy your membership will take place. You'll start to see buttons appear on the pages and you'll be able to buy. I'm also going to send out an email. I'm going to blast it everywhere, shout it from the rooftops so you can now buy your seat into the membership. Then you have to hang tight because Friday is when you'll actually be able to get in. The 3rd of this Friday, the 3rd, you're going to be able to get in and actually access your portal, make a username and password and log in. And when you log in, you'll see my beautiful face with a welcome video, and there'll be a link to the Zoom class for this Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our temple party. Woo, we're going to get it, okay? We're going to be on fire. All right, you guys, there it is, Inner Circle, and I cannot wait to see your name on that wait list. I invite you, if you're feeling the call, this is like, yes, this is me all the way, join me. By the way, if you're already a member of the virtual yoga studio, your price gets grandfathered in, and you're going to just automatically be enrolled. So there's special rules. If you got a membership, if you got the monthly, you got a whole year in at the current rate. If you have a annual, you get 6 months in at your current rate. So I just want to reward you and thank you for those of you that have been with me for this year and a half and have been there, and just, you're my ride or die. So I want to take care of you guys. Okay. So if you're a member already, look for an email that says you're already in and you'll be able to follow those directions. All right, you guys, love you. And I will see you inside the Inner Circle. Bye.